Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we officially have brand new news for Avengers Secret Wars and Avengers Doomsday, thanks to Alex Perez from Cosmic Circus. Let's get into my boys' details and be excited. So the first question Alex got asked was regarding the morale of characters and if it's going to decline, if they're going to switch sides and everything else upon that. So let's get into that. Hello, Alex. Thank you as always for doing these Q&As. One of the most intriguing aspects in the prelude to Secret Wars was the morale decline of many heroes as incursions become more prominent. In Avengers Doomsday, can you expect some heroes to delve into morality, ambiguous territory to deal with incursions as their situation becomes more desperate? Alex goes on to say, yes, 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 and yes. These are the type of questions I love, and yes, you could expect to see that, especially the ones that side with Doom. To them, Doom is their savior. So essentially people are going to treat Dr. Doom as a savior. In the comics, that was the Black Swans, but the thing that they're talking about morality-wise is the Illuminati decided they had to go out and they had to do things like blowing up worlds and all those kind of things, where the point where even Namor was like, you guys aren't doing this, so I'm going to have to go team up with the Cabal and Thanos to destroy them. Until which then obviously he was like, they're too vicious, I'm going to look up at Doom for the help. So things like that, like changing different characters, like teams in a sense you could say. So like maybe like Steve Rogers going to Tony Stark and then being like, oh, Tony Stark isn't doing this, so maybe now I gotta go to Thanos. So like that. The next question was all regarding Doom's motives and exactly what he's gonna do in Secret Wars. And that's where Alex actually goes and responds with this. Doom wants to stop the incursions from happening and stop the multiverse from entirely collapsing on itself. In a way, he's technically a hero, at least in his eyes and the eyes of his followers. Kind of like how Thanos saw himself as a hero in Infinity War. I think people will have a better time processing this movie if they stop thinking of Doom as the ultimate villain meant to swap out Kang at the last minute, and more as an antagonist who thinks he is the hero and is pissed at He Who Remains for essentially silencing his universe as well as every other universe timeline that didn't correspond to the sacred timeline, and wants nothing more than to take the reins of his timeline and win his freedom. So there you go. We know that he's from another timeline, obviously the Fantastic Four one, but it also gets you to think that he's taking on more the aspect of like Thanos. Like Doom knows what he has to do. He's from another universe and he doesn't see himself as a bad guy, but at the same time he then knows about He Who Remains and the Kangs and whatnot. So I'm really like questioning and determined how exactly they're going to explain that, because that is something I need to know. Next up, and I think this is one that we all kind of knew, and that was, what is Loki's role in this film? And Alex goes on to say, one big thing, and you can guess what it is. He'll be our MacGuffin. The race against Doomsday will be a race to see who gets to Loki first. So obviously Loki is going to be the big MacGuffin in Doomsday. The MacGuffin is the item that essentially pushes the plot forward and you need. Hence, Infinity War and Endgame, the Infinity Stones. Star Wars, Rey needed that dagger, the Sith dagger. It just keeps pushing and pushing the story, and it doesn't really have to make sense in a sense, but at the same time it does. So obviously Loki, being the god of stories or the anchor or the being at the end of time or Atlas or whatever you would like to call him, essentially can rewrite timelines and switch things and keeps the timelines all together. He's powering all of the multiverse right now. Well, what if Doom goes to him and destroys every branch except for one to make that perfect branch and combined everything into one? So obviously I'm assuming at the end of this Loki's either going to die or Doom's going to kick him off the chair, Loki's going to get the power, and Loki will end up forming the Secret Avengers in Secret Wars. Now this next one I find very interesting. Alex was asked, who are the exact key players for Doomsday in Secret Wars? Which then Alex went on to say, Doom is at the top of the list. I wouldn't assume any different, the fact that he is the main character of the movie. The Fantastic Four, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, Captain America, Captain Marvel, Wong, and Bruce Banner are also on that list, along with a handful of mutants that I can't mention just yet. Obviously with the mutants, I'm assuming it's going to be like Beast, Charles, Deadpool, Wolverine, those characters over from 10005, maybe Cyclops bringing a storm, you know, the old characters, because obviously we know that in Secret Wars, they're saying they don't know what's going to happen. You know, we haven't gotten there yet, but obviously we know like Toby and all these characters are going to respond. All the legacy characters. This is not something new. This is something they've been talking about. And I'm assuming it's just going to be different universes and whatnot, and they're all going to try to essentially fix everything. You know? Now, as a lifelong comic enthusiast, reader, whatever, the next question I find very interesting because they asked Alex, what is the source material? We've heard time runs out, everything dies, 2015 Secret Wars, but what exactly is it? And Alex actually said something pretty interesting, at least to me. Check this out. The impending doom of the multiverse due to the incursions and the creation of Battleworld, I think, are the main plot points. They're planning to adapt while trying to create their own thing. There's also the matter of the heroes we know. So, for me, I think they're building up the Black Swans, the Black Priests. They're going to build Time Runs Out, really. You know, maybe everything dies a little bit in there. We're going to have like Cap against Iron Man towards the end. Just a bunch of different things, and obviously Hickman's 2015 Secret Wars. But I feel like we're going some places, and I'm pretty interested. Now, I think this is the one where we all get super excited because this is where we could get some crazy fights and crazy stories. So essentially somebody asked him, saying, who are the characters in Doom's evil multiversal team? And Alex actually said something completely different than what I thought. Check this out. Who said they had to be evil? They could be misguided variants who are led astray by the promise of their world. Hear me out. Could you imagine? I've been saying this for years. Tom Holland versus Andrew Garfield versus Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. All three of them have to defend their own universe. And in the end, Tobey and Andrew realize, hey, this is our Tom. He knows what he's doing. You're now Spider-Man. And they both just fall off the earth and die. Like, how crazy would that be? The old Fantastic Four, the Nicolas Cage Ghost Rider, Daredevil, Elektra, all these characters showing up and fighting each other, feeling like they're being misled by Dr. Doom. How awesome would that be? He also did one where somebody asked essentially what was Monica Rambeau's role in the film. And Alex went on to say something along the lines of, you know, her powers are going to be useful. She's studying the Bangles and her powers. And what I think they're going to do, because they also were saying that her role is the same as pretty much Vision's in Infinity War. If you remember, Vision was the character who was running away from Thanos. He was kind of like the motivation that Thanos needed to get to complete the gauntlet. So I'm assuming Dr. Doom is after Monica in order to get to Loki. I'm assuming since she can open up worlds and stuff and close them, I'm assuming now with her light powers, if you guys know how strong she is in the comics, yes, I know the Bangles are the one that opened up the portal, but Monica has the knowledge now. So I'm assuming Dr. Doom knows, hey, she has the knowledge of how to open up portals with the Bangles and how to close them with her own powers. So I'm assuming he needs her to get to the TVA to get a hold of Loki, because you can't just get to the TVA. So that's just my 2 cents. But that was the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoy this awesome work by Alex Perez over at the Cosmic Circus and Lizzie. As always, I appreciate y'all. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We are so close to 3,000 followers. Let's please get there by the end of this month. And as always, I'll catch y'all in the next one.